The Galactic Summit cafeteria hummed with the usual cacophony of 1,000 worlds. Jassy sat alone at table 47B, her tray untouched, her translucent blue skin flickering with bioluminescent patterns that nobody bothered to read anymore. She was Luminaria, species so common in the outer sectors that they'd become invisible through sheer ubiquity. Just another worker. Just another face in the crowd of trillions. She'd been sitting there for 43 minutes, watching the carefully choreographed social dance of the galaxy's elite. The Velkarn diplomats clustered together, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming under the artificial lights. The Cytherian hive minds moved in perfect synchronization, sharing thoughts faster than light itself. Even the crystalline Zihar, beings of pure mathematical consciousness, commanded respect and space wherever they materialized, but Jassy? She was furniture. Background noise in the grand opera of galactic civilization. She was about to leave, her break was nearly over. And the waste recycling systems in Sector 7 wouldn't maintain themselves. When someone sat down across from her .js, IE looked up, startled. The being was bipedal, short by galactic standards, with oddly symmetrical features and skin the color of sun-baked clay. 2 eyes, forward-facing like a predator's. Hair that defied logical purpose. The being wore the simple gray uniform of the Terran delegation, a species so new to the galactic community that most databases still classified them as pending integration assessment. Mind if I sit here? The human asked, though he was already seated, a genuine smile creasing his face. Jassy's bioluminescence flickered in confusion, a pattern that translated roughly to Y. But her translator converted it to, "It's available." "Great, I'm Daniel." "Daniel Chun, first contact linguistics specialist, though honestly, I'm pretty sure they just needed someone to fill the roster." He extended his hand across the table. Another bizarre human custom she'd read about in the integration briefings. She touched his hand briefly, mimicking the gesture. Jassy, maintenance engineer, waste management division. Waste management? That's actually fascinating. I read that the summit processes the biological waste of over 40,000 different species. The chemical reconciliation alone must be... You read about waste management? Jassy interrupted, her pattern shifting to a shade that indicated genuine surprise. Daniel laughed. I read about everything. That's kind of the problem with humans, we're pathologically curious. Gets us in trouble more often than not. He leaned forward, his eyes bright with interest. So how does it work? The Zihar don't produce waste in any conventional sense, right? They're crystalline consciousness. And the Velkarn excrete heavy metals that would be toxic to most carbon-based species. How do you keep it all from cross-contaminating? Nobody had ever asked Jassy about her work before. Not in the 14 cycles she'd been at the summit. She found herself explaining the cascading filtration systems, the quantum lock separation protocols, the careful balance of keeping thousands of incompatible biologies from creating catastrophic chemical reactions in the station's infrastructure. Daniel listened. Actually listened. He asked questions that showed he understood not just the surface mechanics but the underlying complexity. He made connections she'd never articulated, drawing parallels to Earth's own ecological systems. That's incredible, he said when she finished explaining the chromatic pH balancing system. You're basically conducting a symphony of chemistry every single day. One wrong note and the whole station could face environmental collapse. It's just maintenance, Jassy said. But her bioluminescence betrayed her pleasure at being understood, pulsing in warm amber patterns. No, Daniel said firmly. It's engineering at the highest level. It's taking chaos and making it work. That's not just anything. Around them, the cafeteria continued its oblivious dance. A group of Cytherians glided past without acknowledging their table. A Velkarn diplomat nearly backed into Jassy's chair, not registering her presence even as she shifted away. Does that happen a lot? Daniel asked quietly, watching the Velkarn move on. Does what happen? People not seeing you. Jassy's light dimmed. I'm Luminari. We single quotes re.Taman. The galaxy has billions of us. We work the jobs that keep everything running, but we're not... She struggled for the word. Significant. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, Daniel said, and there was an edge to his voice that made Jassy look up sharply. And I've heard the ZHAR try to explain their economic theories. Do you know what humans call the people who keep critical infrastructure running? Essential. Because without you, none of this, he gestured at the grand cafeteria. The visible stars beyond the viewport, the very fabric of the station, works. Not the diplomacy, not the trade agreements, not the cultural exchanges. Nothing. You don't understand galactic society, Jassy said softly. There's a hierarchy. There's always been a hierarchy. Then it's a stupid hierarchy, Daniel replied. On Earth we had hierarchies too. Lots of them. And you know what we learned? They were all arbitrary. All built on nothing but self-perpetuating assumptions. The people at the bottom weren't there because they deserved to be. They were there because the people at the top needed someone to stand on. He pulled out a small datapad. Can I show you something? Jassy nodded, uncertain. Danil brought up an image of marble of blue and white and green suspended in infinite black. That's Earth. 400 years ago, we thought it was the center of the universe. We thought we were special, chosen, significant. Then we learned we weren't. We were just one planet orbiting one ordinary star in a galaxy of hundreds of billions of stars. It was crushing. It was terrifying. He swiped to another image, humans in spacesuits, standing on an alien world, looking up at unfamiliar constellations. But then we realized something. Being common didn't make us worthless. It made us connected. Every atom in our bodies was forged in the heart of dying stars. We were literally made of the universe, and so was everyone else. That didn't make us less. It made us part of something infinite. Jassy stared at the images, her bioluminescence shifting through colors she didn't have names for. You're not invisible because you're common, Daniel continued. You're invisible because people choose not to see. That's not a fact about you. That's a fact about them. Why are you telling me this? Jassy whispered. Because someone should have told you a long time ago. Daniel smiled again, that strange human expression of warmth. And because humans are really good at seeing the people everyone else overlooks. It's kind of our thing. We're new here, so we don't know who we're supposed to ignore yet. Lucky us, an announcement chimed overhead. The afternoon session was resuming. Delegates began filing out, a river of exotic biologies flowing toward the conference halls. Daniel stood. I should get back. But hey, same time tomorrow? I want to hear about those quantum-locked separation protocols. I've got about 1,000 questions. Tomorrow, Jassy agreed, and her light pulsed in a pattern that meant hope. As Daniel walked away, something remarkable happened. A Cytherian delegate paused at table 47B, its sensory stalks turning toward Jassy. Excuse me, it said through its translator. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. The work you do is ... essential. I wanted to say thank you. Then it glided away, leaving Jassy sitting alone again, but not invisible, not anymore, because a human had sat down, and everything had changed.